Hey y'all, happy Sunday. Hope all has been well. It's your girl Almond I-78 live and in full effect. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers. Hope y'all have enjoyed your day. Hope you enjoyed your day. Let's see what is going on. Hold on. What is happening? 18. What is going on, child? What Derek do? What he do? He always in some trouble. Whose chat he done cut up in? Well, let's see who is all in the house. Let's see who is in the house. We got Blockbuster. What's going on? 18. As always, EJ. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate you stopping by. Well, looky here. What is going on, MC? Long time no see. Hope everything has been well. Hope you have been well. Child, Eric, you still on go on this road. Hold on, what you say, 18? We got to find Derek. We got to find Derek. Hold on. You don't know the full story. I haven't talked to him. We get ready to find him though. What, Eric, you know what happened? What's going on? Hold on. You about to find him. Let's see, he be getting in too much trouble. Hold on. Find him real quick. They found him. Ooh. Hold on, y'all. We got breaking news. We got breaking news. Mr. He on Cree. Hold on. Yeah, you been busy. Hold on, y'all. I got to see what's popping. Hold on. Which way I want to go? Child, they found the shooter. Hold on. For all that foo la la in Minnesota yesterday. They done messed around and found him, y'all. We came on at the right time. Hold on. We having too much technology around here. Comma. Child, yeah, he need to quit playing with that moonshine. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Child, y'all need to. Okay, I don't see nothing yet. I'm sure to show up at some point. All right, when it come back up, y'all, we gonna be on it. But what child? What kind of fool la la is Derek into? Yeah, he need to go ahead. Yeah, yeah, Eric, for the situations in Minnesota. He need to y'all need to get y'all friend under control. Get your friend because we don't need moonshine to become his best friend and have him in all kinds of trouble and situations that we ain't gonna be able to get him out of. Y'all go ahead and get him together. Get him together. We need we gonna need him together. Um yeah, that's y'all say is Cree Cree live? Hold up. He doing too much. He doing way too much. What you talking about? Yep. That's your friend. You need to get him together. Get him together. Now somebody send me the link. Send if she live, send me the link. But anyway, we gonna get on into what we got going on, which I am back with another what would you do scenario. This popped up in my Instagram and I thought it was honestly I thought it was stupid. Um but there seem to be situations that people like to find themselves in. So we gonna go ahead and talk about it. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, this is a total and complete waste of time. All right, hold up. Let's see what we got. Okay. What's this? Pop the balloon? Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, all right, y'all. Let's get into this. Let's get into this. Thank you for the link, Eric. Okay. So we have this evening, we have we got a woman wasting time. Clearly not wifey material, clearly not marriage minded, but yet She okay, you said St. Louis edition. Ooh, 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 child, where RBN? We need to get him on there. We need to get him on there. But anyway, so we got a chick, clearly not wife material, clearly not marriage minded, but she done got proposed to. She want to get married, but she does not want to take the man's last name. So this is the scenario. I don't know if y'all can see that real good, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it. Um, it says my boyfriend broke off our engagement because I don't want to take his last name. Exactly, Dr. Steele. It's silly. His last name is silly. I don't want my last name to be Higginbottom. This been this man's last name the entire time you've known him. So why is this a problem? And you knew it wasn't gonna change. But anyway, on with the story. Okay. My last name is cool. I told him he can change his name to my last name, and he got offended and said, I'm a female, and that's not how it works. He said it's tradition that once a woman becomes married, she takes the last name and the children take his name too. Yeah. I said, I don't want to do that. He actually broke off our engagement and ended our relationship over this. He blocked me on everything. That was the end of that. I feel like I didn't get the proper closure. This break this breakup is living in my head rent free. I just want to tell him off. This whole thing is so stupid. Ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. It's not it's not stupid. It's not stupid. You knew what this man's name was when you started dealing with him. You kept the relationship going. It got to the point of y'all getting engaged. This man's name's still not gonna change, but your solution to this issue that you having that you shouldn't be having, if you ask me, because again, you knew what this man's name was in the beginning, and clearly nothing about him during the course of this relationship really told you that he was gonna go along with him changing his name to your name. So you knew what this was. You knew what his name was. You stayed in this relationship. You let it get to the point of him wanting to marry you and proposing. And because you know what I'm saying, he was like, I'm not changing my name. You gonna have to change your name, and you don't want to do that. So yeah, why would you break off the engagement and then still continue to be involved with the person? So yeah, we break off the engagement, we broke up. That's simple. That's clean. Like what is all the confusion? He broke up the engagement in our whole relationship. Yeah. That whole relationship you was in when you knew what that man's name was. You knew you wasn't feeling it. Oh, we done spoke up RBN. Look at this right here. Yeah, yeah. Child, these chicks, these chicks a trip. So yeah, she would dump him down for the rest of exactly 18. Yeah, exactly, Eric. She ain't love him. Dr. Steele, for real. For real. But again, she knew what his name was from the very beginning. So why is this an issue now? Just in case you know what I'm saying, y'all didn't catch that, we're gonna go over one more time. It's the part down here at the bottom for me. The um, I just want to tell him off. Tell him off for what? Tell him off for what? You did this. What's going on, Prime? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope all is well. You don't want your last name to be Higginbottom. I told him he can change his name to my last name, and he got offended, as most men would. Oh, okay. That must be yes, barbecue. Yes, that must be the theme of the day. Yeah, we had barbecue. What you say? If she doesn't respect the man's name, she don't respect him. Exactly, exactly, Dr. Steele. This is foolishness. So you, yeah. How does this work? How does this work? I love you. I want to build a life with you. I want to have kids with you, but I don't want your name. How does this work? How does this work? And again, um, like how many times a day do you actually hear your last name? Like seriously. Yeah, I guess she trying to be the man of the relationship. I guess prime. I guess. But clearly it ain't working. What you say? You say your ex-wife tried that. Child. Wait a minute, so she told you to change your name to her name? Or she just didn't want to change her name? That is masculine, Dr. Steele. But my thing is, and speaking of that, because that brings another, for me, that brings something else to mind. If her thinking is that masculine, what else about her was that masculine? And why is he willing to let that slide? What you say, RBN, after 4 months of her not changing her name, she came home from work and her key didn't work. Oh, Jesus. What you say? I'm not dating no woman who can't accept my last name. This is what I'm saying, Prime. She knew the man's name from the beginning. It's not like he told her his name was A and then kind of found out it was M. Hey Celine, how you doing? She knew what the man's name was from the rip. So you knew if this was to progress, your name had the potential to become Higginbottom. I mean, it really ain't. I've heard worse. I mean, it really ain't that bad. He must be British or something. But this is stupid. But it's the he actually broke off our engagement and ended our relationship. What else is he supposed to do as a man? Because see, like he operating in real masculinity here. What else is he supposed to do? Be like, you know what I'm saying? Let me think about it. Let me see how this gonna work. What'd you say, Celine? I had a day at the grocery store job. At least it was better. Well, yeah. Yeah, true. Yeah, it was better than Taraji's. What you say? RBN, I now require you to change your name a week before the wedding. What? Hold up. A week before. We can't get within a week after. Child, like for real, women really be out here acting a fool about changing their name. Child, Celine, I don't. It may have originally come from Reddit, but it popped up on my Instagram feed. I was like, yeah, this right here is she from? You said what you said. Okay, so let me get this straight. If fiance doesn't change her name a week before the wedding, you not gonna show it to the wedding, even if you pay for it. Exactly, Prime. Some refuse to change their name back after the divorce. Now I agree with that. If you got kids, if you had kids in the marriage, then yeah, I'm okay with you not changing your name back because everybody need to keep the same name. Child, listen. So that's my granddaddy name. Child, what Ike turned to say? He said, "Got my daddy blood on it." He said she could go, but the name stay here. Child, Supposed to be serious about their name. I mean, they lying. He not. The crazy part is that she's not apologetic about it. Exactly. She ain't apologetic about it at all. She like, I don't care nothing about that. Like, listen. Mm-mm. Shall we got stabbed outside the restaurant? Like, it's too much violence going on around here. It is too. Oh, it's too much going on. It's just my first. I don't find. What you say? What you said? First, I don't find Beyonce attractive, and my rules are my rules. You said nah, the name stay in the family, one way in and out. Beyonce, okay, but she too light skinned. What was going on? We was talking about Beyonce. No, me too, Celine. Yeah, I went out for a little bit, and I was glad to see seeing a lot of fatherly appreciation today. I was glad to see that. She too light skinned. She real light now. She 5 shades lighter than she was when she first hit the scene. I'm here to tell you. But child, listen. Mm-mm. So y'all not feeling it. So y'all feel like y'all feel like the fiance was correct to her kick rocks. He shouldn't have tried to inquire and find out what was causing her angst about his name. What you say they gonna? What you say? They gave you a gift card. They gave you a gift card at church. I guess they're trying to they're trying to tell you to get married. That's what we doing. Okay. Tell them you're gonna need more than a gift card to be trying to get married. Trust and believe. You're gonna need more than a gift card. But how much was it for? We nosy. We nosy. And how much did you get? $10. Oh, okay. What you say? What you say? Something you got your daddy a couple of scratch tickets and a cue card for Father's Day. You gonna give him a gift card for his birthday next week? Okay, cool. That's what's up. That's what you talking about Father's Day. Okay. So I mean, did they give all of the men $10? Like, is that what was they was just assuming all the men had kids and gave everybody $10? Okay, cool. That's what's up. All right. Well, I mean, look at it like this, Prime. I mean, you can get you some. You got Wawa near you. You go Wawa. You can do a little something at Wawa with $10. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you post the Wawa. You can go make that happen. What you say? 3 gallons of Walmart gas. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What you say? I gave my dad $50 gift card. His birthday. Oh, his birthday on Juneteenth. And you go put another 50 in his birthday. Okay, you can put another. Okay, okay. Y'all black people, y'all looking forward to Juneteenth? Let me see. It depends. Okay. So are you gonna give him like a store gift card, or you just gonna give him like a cash gift card? What you say? Happy early Juneteenth is triple payday. Okay. It's a store gift card. Okay. You decided where? Child, look. Y'all can send me a Target gift card, Walmart gift card. Like, yeah. Hold up. Uh Okay. Cheesecake Factory. I know we being that strong. Nike, Ulta, like for real, for real. For real, for real. What you say? June 19th is just another day. Okay. So I take it you gonna be working. I'm off. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the beach. Oh yeah. Oh, hold up, y'all. We got some breaking news about this shooter situation. We about to take a peek real quick. Yeah, I've done it before. Hold on, y'all. We're gonna get a little.
The
We got
statement of probable
advanced.
cause in real time here with you and with Paul. You know, there have been a lot of questions from people who are, I guess, just kind of curious about what happened at the Hortman home, because we knew the officers arrived, we knew that there was an exchange, and then we knew that the suspect fled. But we have just a little bit more sort of
Yeah,
detail
child,
here,
that
because I
Cheesecake
think the
Factory
question
bread be rocking.
that is posed sometimes is, well, how did he get away? And you've got officers right there. But so I just wanted to read to you just this portion here. So let's see. Paul mentioned they proactively sent a couple of patrol officers from Brooklyn Park to the home.
As a wellness check, as I understand it, right?
Yeah, just sort of proactively saying, hey, we know that the Hortmans live in Brooklyn Park. All the PD, they know where the sort of VIPs are living in their communities. So it says when officers arrived at approximately 3:35 a.m., they saw the Ford SUV with police-style lights and immediately saw the defendant, still dressed as a police officer, shoot an adult man, referred to herein as victim 2, who we know is Mark Hortman, through the open door of the home. Police exchanged gunfire with the defendant, who fled the residence before escaping the area. Inside the residence, officers found 2 adults deceased from gunshot wounds. So we know that to be Mark Hortman and Melissa Hortman. But I think, a little bit more information there on that exchange, at what point exactly the officers arrived, how close was it? That gives us a little bit more of an indication.
And there is a gut-wrenching part of this as far as the first incident of the shooting of Senator Hoffman occurred. And I'll read that as well. Champlin police officers responding to a shooting at the residence in Champlin. A 911 caller reported that a masked person had come to their door and then shot their parents, which obviously tells all of us that the children,
it was their daughter.
Their daughter. Was the one that had to make that 911 call and alert officers that the man had come to their door and shot her parents.
We know just from we've covered stories with Senator Hoffman and his family, and we know just from our Courtney Godfrey too that their daughter Hope has spina bifida and lived with them. I believe about 28 years old is what we were told, and so she, as we're reading now, unfortunately was. As we feared, the one who made that call to 911.
This information released moments ago because there was an arrest. It was to be sealed until that, so we are getting this information very quickly. Again, there is going to be a presser coming up here in about 20 minutes if everything stays on time. There was a very detailed list of the weapons that were found in the alleged shooter's vehicle: 3 AK-47 assault rifles, a 9mm handgun, disassembled 9mm firearm, ballistic vest, gold police-style badge. All that fits the description of a man posing as a police officer when he knocked on the doors of these 2 Minnesota politicians and their spouses.
Lori, do we have So Young, or do we have Karen? Okay. Okay, all right. They're just logging in here. In just about a minute, we're going to take you out live to Green Isle. I don't know if we want to pop that picture up. I know, sorry, Lori, we've got producers in the booth kind of shuffling things around back there. But okay, so here's the live picture of Green Isle. This would be not necessarily right where the farm is. You can see a little bit more of a paved road there. There's been a staging area, so I'm not sure exactly how close our crew is. I know they wouldn't have been able to get very close to the farm itself, but there was a staging area, and that's where I'm guessing this is. Yeah, they're moving around just a little bit here, where law enforcement has been staged here for the last couple of days. Yeah, that looks like that area to me. So
it actually went down very quickly when you think about it.
It did. And so we'll kind of go through some of that with So Young here, because again, you know, if you're just joining us, I know people are kind of coming into the coverage here as we're continuing on. And we do want to remind folks, I don't know if the race is still going on, but the race that we cut into would be, it is over. Okay, that coverage was on Fox Local. Thank you. Appreciate that, or Fox Plus. So we want to reset things just a little bit here because we have an incredible development that has come about here in the course of the last sort of 2 hours or so, hour and a half or so, Randy, in that we now have we have sources that have confirmed. We have now seen a photograph from Ramsey County Sheriff that Vance Bolter is in custody, and he has been taken alive.
I can kind of give our viewers a rundown of how it all went down. Approximately an hour and a half ago, as Amy points out, we had tips from our sources that Vance Bolter, the suspect, alleged killer, had been spotted on a trail cam. You all know what trail cams are. They're posted out there for wildlife and other reasons, security reasons, but some resident in that area of the Bolter farm, the area there that we're talking about, just for those of it's the 355 block of 200th Street there, and the farm itself is very near there, but that area is where they picked up an image of Bolter on a trail cam. Moments later, we got word that law enforcement had also picked him up from a drone in the sky, and it was still daylight at that time, so they could clearly see a man in fatigues with a backpack, presumably armed, making his way through a cornfield. Corn is very short right now, so easy to see.
What a blessing that we have a later, sunset here to take us so late.
Yeah, and so within moments of that, we got word that there was a possible arrest without incident, and from there it has ballooned into a definite arrest of the suspect, and we saw the images there. And So Young Kim has been in that area since she started her schedule tonight, and she witnessed some of this sort of assembling of law enforcement in that area.
Yeah, so Young, kind of describe, I guess, where you
are
as it relates to maybe the farm or that staging area, and then talk to us about the alert that you received and about what time that was.
We're here in Green Isle, right near the staging area. Their staging area is kind of in a parking lot near a baseball field. So we're about a couple of miles away from that alert you mentioned that came directly to my phone right around 9 o'clock. It mentioned that the Minnesota shooter was seen on foot in military gear and armed. So that was around 9 o'clock. And then, like you mentioned, a few minutes after that, we understand that he was taken in.
I don't know, sir, because it's not raining and it's not cold. I don't know,
talking to neighbors in the area. I also spoke with someone on the phone who lives right in this area, right off of Highway 25. His property was searched, so authorities, to what they explained to us a few hours ago, they kind of obviously mentioned there was a car.
Really deep. I didn't think they was going to get
Filter was using yesterday. They found that maybe 7 miles down the road here, Highway 25.
You know damn well with no need for all of this.
Maybe earlier this morning, it was towed away around 4, a little maybe before 4 o'clock this afternoon. So earlier this afternoon, that car was towed away. This area was still being searched. It was blocked off. This part of Highway 25 was still blocked off for several hours after that. And even after the roads reopened a few hours ago, police presence, especially in the staging area, remained largely unchanged. And we know why. They were honing in and zoning in on Belter, but they hadn't released that publicly until we received that alert.
What you say? Can we all
listening
get
for
along
movements, getting
and
any
agree to
updates from law
disagree? I
enforcement
guess
here.
not. I don't know
And
why
now we
people
know
can't just,
that
saying,
they were zeroing in here and kind of
grasp that
staying
concept and move on with
nearby
their life. I
because
don't know.
they had reason to believe that he was still in the area. That was a big question a lot of these neighbors had. A lot of people were scared just with the law enforcement presence in the area. Authorities weren't ruling out any possibility. So he could have been in the area. People weren't sure if he had left the state or we know TSA, other federal agencies were
He
also
took way too long.
involved,
If
keeping a
he'd
watch
actually gotten out of the state of
to
Minnesota, he'd
potentially
be
watch
gone.
that he doesn't flee the country. But now we know he really was kind of back in this area, which is near Green Isle, which we know is the address of a family home and property nearby. So everything kind of happened in this area right off of Highway 25. And we know that now he has been taken in. This staging area in the last maybe 10 to 15 minutes, now we see some patrol cars maybe packing up for the night or moving. We kind of have seen a little
Well,
bit
girl,
of
if you
movement
wasn't in
more
the
than
car,
we've
you could be
seen
over there getting the
throughout the
information.
night of
The
maybe
hell is
some
this?
of these
I'm
squad
like,
cars or
frown
some
now.
of
Why
these
you in the
agencies,
car?
because there's
You
so
you
many
missing the
agencies out here.
information.
Hundreds of patrol units, but multi-agency from local, county to federal. We have seen some patrol cars leave the area and leave the staging area potentially for the night. And this is such a big relief for everyone involved, not just these communities and the neighbors we've spoken to, but Paul had mentioned, there was a hit list. And with Belter still out there, he's a suspected, shooter in these cases. It was just a nightmare situation all weekend for some of these lawmakers that have been informed they were on the list, for these communities, knowing that a potential shooter was still armed and dangerous in their communities. This is just such a major development and a major point of relief for everyone, not just in these communities, but across the state and across the country, really.
Yeah, we are seeing what you're seeing as well. It does look like law enforcement is
clearing
the area. You can see Brooklyn Park there. They're the main investigator, and certainly with that investigative unit there, they have an investigative van. That is likely the end result of this apprehension of Belter tonight, 57-year-old Vance Belter. I also think it's important at a time like this, when we have some degree of resolution to this case. It's been more than 24 hours. People were certainly on edge in all kinds of areas. And the question remains tonight, how does he end up back in some ways where this investigation began at the family property out there near Green Isle? We don't know the answer to that. We might get an answer, but the reality is that's where this thing came to a culmination, what his choice was, what
all right. That's usually how it go. But child, she could have been getting way more information if she got up at the car. Child, these folks today is lazy. They don't want to do no. They just wanted to just come to them. Like, what happened to old school? You know what I'm saying? Boots on the ground journalism. Girl, get your life. I'm just saying, get your life and get us some decent information. I'm shocked he's still alive. I will say that. I'm shocked. Hopefully he'll remain that way, because we need to know what all of that was about. Too many times, you know what I'm saying, they go ahead and take themselves out, and then we never, get to study them and try to figure out what make them tick and use that information to try to keep other folks from going down the same road. But he alive, so we'll see how they go. But yeah, he read wrong good white folk though, so he probably gonna get the needle. But anyway, back to Miss Lady. Men, and since it's Father's Day, and in order to be a father, you need to find a good wife. What did this dude miss with her? Hold up, I ain't even give y'all the link. Yeah, he gonna get a couple. He gonna get a cut. If they don't give him the needle, he's gonna get multiple life sentences, multiple. But child, they probably get him the needle. I don't know, let's Walls get up there, child, because all that bumbling and stumbling he was doing yesterday, I was like, if y'all ever wanted to see inept leadership, he gave y'all a PhD worthy education and what that looked like. Cause child, he was bumbling and stumbling, and I don't know, and let's see, and the woo woo, child, mm. What you say, Prime? You got to ask questions before you get the ring. Questions such as what? Hold up, and give y'all the I forgot to put it up earlier. Questions such as what, Prime? Like what? I'm getting personal now. What would you want to know that normal interaction and getting to know this woman and having conversations and you know what I'm saying, you know, getting intimate, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about in the sexual manner, but and all of that. What about her would you want to know that those experiences wouldn't give you? Like what would you want to know after, let's say, 9 months about this woman that all the time you spent with her up until that point didn't tell you? Yeah, there's glitter flying around here. Um, yeah. What would you want to know that you would have to actually ask? How do you what would you say? How do you feel about family? Do you believe in disciplined children? How she was raised? Okay, so I'm gonna go from the end back to the beginning. As far as how she was raised, would your interactions with her give you an indication on how she was raised? Okay, the disciplined children part, I get that. And how do you feel about family? Okay, so the first question, how do you feel about family? And the second was how she was raised. Wouldn't your interactions with her kind of give you the answer to those questions? Like, what specifically about family would you ask her? Like, feel about family in what aspect? Hold on. I'm not sure. They might be having a press. They might have this the press conference. We might have to take a look at it real quick. Um, let's just say who led, who's leading the family? Okay, come on, y'all help me out. I mean, I'm just trying to put this together because if you're saying you getting to know her, y'all having conversations, you spending time together, like if it's gone all the way to you wanting to marry her and you asking for her hand, I would assume at some point you've met the family. So if that's the case, like wouldn't that question already be answered? Okay. So I'm just trying to think what could this dude have done to I'm not saying he was gonna be able to, foresee this, to the point where he was gonna be able to pinpoint her. I ain't trying to, rock with you because I want to marry you, but I don't want to take your name. I mean, that is like mad damn disrespectful. But as we've seen time and time and time and time again, these chicks have no problem bringing the disrespect. Wow. Um, They actually thrive on the disrespect. They have no problem. But I just don't see how she, you know what I'm saying? Because she didn't just break out, you know what I'm saying, with this, you know what I'm saying? It had to be some other stuff going on. Like, what the hell do you men be missing? What you say? I would like to see how her mother talked to her father. Okay. Yeah, I mean that would tell you a little something. Let me tell you a little bit. And most importantly, um, her father's behavior. Because, like I have to say, it's always a conversation about having, you know, what I'm saying, a two-parent household. Two-parent household is only good if people are working in their natural order. Working from us guys do be missing red flags when they in the puppy phase. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I see you guys either miss red flags altogether or y'all create red flags. Like y'all will take something that's not really a flag and turn it into a red flag, or y'all will get slapped on both sides, both cheeks with the red flag and act like it ain't there. You said if her mother is like Jennifer Lewis, then it's a no go. Yeah. Child, what she say? She said, what she say? Y'all will be all right if y'all rise. Y'all go ahead and work that out. Mm. But yeah, um, but let me say this, Prime. How long would it take for you to identify that a woman was raised by Jennifer Lewis? Like, how long would you have to talk to this chick to figure out her mama is a hyena? Like three conversations on the phone, five conversations on the phone, five conversations on the phone, and two dates. Like, what's the time frame? 2 weeks. Okay, so we talking business days, 2 weeks or 2 full weeks. And what's happening in them 2 weeks is gonna allow you to put that together. What you say? You can't. You can. You're right. You can't hide that type of spirit. That fat. Right. So since you can't hide that type of spirit, how the hell these dudes be getting caught up like this? How they caught up? Just ain't have no idea that this is how the chick moves. How does that work? Because yeah, you can't hide that. You can't hide nasty. You can't hide ugly. So how y'all be getting treated? Just 'cause I want to know how y'all getting treated. How y'all getting treated? What you say? Because most of these dudes never seen a positive marriage. Okay, I get that, but not so you have to see a positive marriage in order to know how to be treated well. Like you can't know. Wait, so you don't know how you should be treated unless you've seen a positive marriage. Household prime. And who determines that the marriage is positive? What you say? Some dudes don't know when a woman is being disrespectful. Okay, so would the concept of disrespect be wouldn't it be subjective? And is disrespect or perceived disrespect in the course of a disagreement different from perceived disrespect when everything is going good? You say yes or no? Okay. So is behavior that's going on in the midst of an argument the same level of disrespect as saying some behavior that takes place when everything's supposed to be good that you would consider disrespect? So what I'm saying is, if we arguing and so we get into a disagreement, and I say something, you say you guess it depends on the situation. Okay, yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that for real. I would agree with that. So would it be a good idea for um a couple to define what is disrespectful to them? Still waiting on the press conference. Would that be a good idea in the establishment of the relationship? It'd be like, hey, the I consider saying these things disrespectful. And then you see the other person be like, okay, I consider these things disrespectful, and everybody has a list of saying the markers for disrespect. Which is it definitely set some rules. Okay. So what happens if you don't set any rules and then something happens? And then everything that takes place in this one particular experience is now by your definition disrespectful. What you say? Some people have PTSD from their childhood. Absolutely, I agree. I agree. I agree. Absolutely, I agree. Which means she got to go. Why though, Prime? Y'all, you guys didn't. You know what I'm saying? You didn't set any rules, and you didn't define what you consider to be disrespectful. until after you have a disagreement. Now everything that went on in the disagreement was disrespect, but there was no conversation about disrespect beforehand. Is that your teachable moment, or she still got to go? Or does she let you go because you was disrespectful? How does this work? And why are folks so quick to pull the trigger? Yeah, teachable moment. Okay, again, you guys are, you're saying, trying to establish your relationship. You haven't set any ground rules, and then you have a disagreement, and everybody's saying they was disrespected, but you never had a conversation to define what you consider disrespectful behavior. So what we doing? We rebuilding and getting strong, or we just gonna throw it by the wayside? So we owe. Okay. I'm just saying. What we doing? I personally vote for the rebuild and get strong, and sit down and write down, get some, establish some ground rules, and your do's and don'ts. Oh, it's TikTok. Um, that's how I'm seeing it. Because folks seem to go to extremes. They either letting everything ride, or they ain't letting nothing ride. Nothing in the middle. This man got to a whole relationship and rode it all the way down to, and I asked for this chick hand in marriage, and she hit you with the yeah, I don't want your name. You need to change your name, and we can keep on trucking. Okay, Prime, you say ground rules and counseling. So how deep in a relationship do you have to be to get counseling? Like, should you be trying to go to counseling with somebody you've been talking to for 4 months? Or you need to cross the 6 month threshold, or do you need to cross the 9 month threshold, or do you need to cross a year? Like, what's the time frame for going to counseling? Just in your opinion, because I'm not saying that there is one. Just, you know what I'm saying. Just in your opinion. Yeah, if it get physical, then yeah, go ahead and be done. We ain't fighting. We ain't fighting nobody. Mm-mm. We ain't fighting nobody. Not at all. 6 months. Okay. So we saying 6 months from the day y'all met, or 6 months from the day y'all decide y'all gonna try to be together? You said before y'all get married, during, and after. So, okay, Eric. So would you say post marriage, like a monthly counseling session would be good? You think that would, in your opinion, you think that would be beneficial to the marriage? I mean, I personally, I think it would be helpful. Definitely, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Be a extra outlet. You said pre and post. Hmm. Okay. 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 Pre and post. Yep. Okay. I mean, yeah. Like I said, you know, would, yeah, monthly counseling session. You know what I'm saying, with a professional. That wouldn't, post marriage. That wouldn't bother me. I think that would be helpful. Now, what happens if, what you say, don't go into marriage thinking this gonna be a Disney marriage? Did, but you know, just to kick it off, you think about it in the Disney movies, like you never see anything past the wedding. Like if you get a wedding in a Disney movie, they be standing at the altar and then it fade to black. You don't never get the vows, you know what I'm saying? The you know what I'm saying, till death do it. Like you never get any of that. They be standing at the altar and then it fade to black and that be the end of the movie. You never get a full ceremony and you definitely don't get post ceremony. Like for real. But you say you ain't never think, like for real, like literally. If you think about it, I don't even watch Disney like that. But I did piece together. If you get a wedding in the story, you get her you get her go her walk to the altar, and that pretty much be it. It go black, the story be over, but you don't never get, you know what I'm saying, the exchange of the vows, you know what I'm saying, that now I pronounce you man and wife, and them going on about their life. You won't get that. So it is what it is. But yeah, so yeah, I could dig that. Keep counseling once a month. I can rock with that. I can rock with that. That's a good idea. So do you think you should have friendship counseling? Like your lifelong friends, you think y'all should go to counseling? Maybe once a year. Keep your bond tight. You say yes. So okay, Prime. So how do you present that to your people? Especially men. How you presenting that to your brethren? All your friends call you every 30 days. Y'all don't talk no more frequently. Y'all talk once a month. Or you say you talk to them at least once every 30 days. Yeah, I know this ain't the press conference. I'm gonna be so pissed off. This can't be the press conference. You gotta be trying to check them acoustics. Y'all look at this. Hold up. What did you say? Bro, you need some help, so let's get this work. Y'all look at this. This can't be the press conference. If this the press conference, I'm gonna be done. Hold up.
Yep. Yes. One recondition. Jeremy. J-A. Sorry,
Y'all, this raggedy.
What was that? Jeremy. Common spelling.
What who are these last
Mark. Yes, Burley.
And it's Jeremy Geiger.
Geiger is last name Geiger, correct.
All right, you're just getting set for that press conference there
Okay,
to
I was getting ready
detail
to say
and
this
outline
ain't it.
the arrest tonight of the suspect, Vance Luther Belter, 57 years old, the man alleged to have politically.
None at all. We gonna till they get their life right, Prime. Um, yeah, Chinese folks don't be having that folks do not dress for the occasion anymore. Not at all. Not at all. They having a vision. Child, that's messed up. You know what? And knocked on them people's door and shot them. That's crazy. That is next level crazy. Next level. Next level crazy. And he out here just walking around like ain't nothing going on. Like ain't nothing going on. Straight foolishness. All right, y'all. We're gonna take a look at this press conference and then we probably gonna wrap this up. Cause I still owe y'all that foolishness from last week. But y'all life got the life and child the walls up in here. Here we go.
Good evening. After a two-day manhunt, 2 sleepless nights, law enforcement have apprehended Vance Bolter. That's 48 hours that law enforcement involved in a complex and dangerous manhunt. Spent Father's Day away from their families to deliver justice for Melissa and Mark Hortman and their children who spent this Father's Day alone. To the law enforcement who stand here and the hundreds who were involved in this, the state of Minnesota owes you a deep debt of gratitude. Thank you. You ran towards the danger and you served the state of Minnesota. This is a great example of coordination and collaboration. Multiple agencies, federal, state, and local, coordinating together in a way to protect the public and close this hunt around. Multiple agencies were there as FBI laid hands on it and Minnesota State Patrol put the handcuffs on. One man's unthinkable actions have altered the state of Minnesota. Melissa Hortman was the core of who our values were. She had a hand in so many things that happened. The building that we stand in, she helped usher through so that we could respond from the State Emergency Operations Center with the professionalism and giving the tools necessary to law enforcement to do their job. To Melissa and Mark's family, I cannot fathom your pain and the grief that you're going through. We'll take solace in the memory and the work that Melissa did, and you can rest assured that we will put every ounce of effort that the state of Minnesota has to make sure that justice is served and the individual responsible for this serves the time for the unspeakable act. State grieves with you. To John and Yvette Hoffman, the latest news is Senator Hoffman came out of his final surgery and is moving towards that, towards recovery. Yvette is healing. And I think when the story comes out, and I'd like to say on behalf of the state of Minnesota, the heroic actions by the Hoffman family and their daughter Hope saved countless lives, and we are grateful. Bureau of Criminal Apprehension will continue to investigate. We will keep you informed. We'll spare no expense and no work to make sure that that happens. A moment in this country where we watch violence erupt. This cannot be the norm. It cannot be the way that we deal with our political differences. Now's the time for us to recommit to the core values of this country. And each and every one of us can do it. Talk to a neighbor rather than arguing. Debate an issue. Shake hands. Find common ground. This is who Melissa Hortman was. In the first negotiating session that I had a chance to work with her, she got all the partners in the room, and she provided each and every one of us a copy of a book called Getting to Yes. And the whole premise was debating with a sense of goodwill, a sense of trying to come to compromises that serve everyone. And because of her, we did that. Because of her, we did that year after year after year. That's the embodiment of how things are supposed to work. It's not about hatred. It's not about mean tweets. It's not about demeaning someone. It's leading with grace and compassion and vision and compromise and decency. That was taken from us in Minnesota with the murder of Speaker Hortman. So for each and every one of us to truly honor, and we will continue to honor that spirit, but we will need to do it in just more than actions in a memorial. Conducting ourselves in the spirit that Melissa Hortman did her work is what the country needs to heal. I will once again say the deep debt of gratitude. These professionals standing behind us and countless others. This was, you'll hear from them, incredibly complex. And to take this suspect in with no life of life or injuries to civilian population and to bring him in alive so he can serve justice, which he will do in Minnesota, is an incredible thing that we are grateful for. With that, I'm going to turn it over to the professionals, starting with Commissioner of Public Safety for the state of Minnesota, Bob Jacobson. Thank you.
Good evening. It's good to see you all here tonight. Thank you for coming in. My name is Bob Jacobson. I'm the Commissioner of Public Safety. And again, it's my honor to serve in that position. First of all, I want to thank all of the law enforcement agencies that have been working tirelessly over the past 2 years since the shooting at Senator Hoffman's home. The coordination between state, local, and federal law enforcement partners is the reason we are here tonight, and the suspect is in custody. Bolter exploited the trust our uniforms are meant to represent. That betrayal is deeply disturbing to those of us who wear the badge with honor and responsibility. We want to thank community members across the state for their support, for their tips, and their information. And I want to thank Governor Walz for his continued support through this very difficult time. With that, I will pass this off to Superintendent Drew Evans of the BCA.
Y'all ain't giving up no facts.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Drew Evans. I'm Superintendent of the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. As was noted and was previously described, Vance Bolter was taken into custody in Sibley County. We were with you earlier today when we provided information about the manhunt and the myriad of law enforcement that have come together working in partnership so that this evil cannot be continued. The first step in a case like this is that we take him into custody, and then the work will continue and begin to make sure that we have all the evidence we need to ensure that he is held accountable for his crimes. Please bear with me, but I think it's important because it has been noted by the governor, just to give you some background on the teams that were down there, and I may even be missing some in terms of this because there were law enforcement partners, not just from the Twin Cities, but across the state of Minnesota.
Okay, Tom, you supposed to set up here and start naming all these people. Y'all ain't giving up no
Tri-City
facts.
SWAT team, Egan Police Department, Burnsville Police Department, our South Metro SWAT team, the FBI, ATF, United States Marshal Service, State Patrol, Washington County Sheriff's Office, Ramsey County Sheriff's Office, the Richfield Police Department, St. Paul Police Department, Bloomington Police Department, Sibley County. We had Riverview Medics, Green Isle Fire Department, and Lifelink in the area, in addition to Prior Lake, Crow River SWAT, and the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office. And again, I may have been missing, and I apologize to my partners for that we do that. I share all of that for you because that's the commitment when this sort of evil is in one of our communities, that law enforcement comes together to put all of their resources together to make sure that that person is taken into custody. That is so that people across the state of Minnesota and legislators that were targeted in these attacks and that may have been listed can breathe a sigh of relief as quickly as possible as we came together in an incredibly complex set of circumstances in that. He was arrested, as you saw earlier this evening, in the area of 35600 block at 200th Street, Green Isle. What happened in that is, as we noted, there was a manhunt going throughout the day in that area that we've discussed previously, and there was information provided that he was seen in the area. When that information was provided to the investigators that were conducting the ground search, they converged on the area with a number of SWAT teams with the assistance of the Air Wing from Minnesota State Patrol. And we'll provide a few more details about the end of getting into custody in a little bit, but he was taken into custody at that time. He is in custody, and a reminder for anybody that was not, when we've previously said that, taken into custody under a state criminal warrant. That information will be made public, if it is not already, detailing the complaint that he is charged in the cases at this time with the murders of Speaker Hortman and her husband, Mark Hortman, also with the shootings in John Hoffman and Yvette Hoffman for those crimes, and will be moving forward. We are also in close contact with our federal partners, both the FBI, United States Attorney's Office, who are examining whether or not additional charges should be brought at the federal level related to this at this time. There's a lot of investigation that continues, and I'm going to turn it over to Chief Bruley to provide some comments on this and the work. I just want to tell, certainly for the communities of Champlin, city of Brooklyn Park, you both have incredibly professional police departments that work day in, day out and tirelessly in this situation to bring justice and work towards that, not only for the families and the loved ones and the community that are impacted, but for the entire state of Minnesota. And our teams are incredibly proud to work alongside them and all the law enforcement partners. And so with that, I will turn it over to Chief Bruley for some comments on this, and the work will continue in partnership with them and others moving forward. Chief.
Good evening. I'm Police Chief Mark Bruley, Brooklyn Park Police Department. Just a few comments. One, I'm very proud to tell you that we took the suspect into custody who's responsible for this. That was within 43 hours of the incident. There's no question that this is the largest manhunt in the state's history. Just down at the scene where he was taken into custody, there was 20 different SWAT teams over an extremely large area hunting this individual down to take him into custody. I believe that the state of Minnesota and certainly the city of Brooklyn Park should be extremely proud of the police officers within the city of Brooklyn Park, but the partnerships that we had are unprecedented between the federal agents, the county, the locals, and others around. It is absolutely an incredible task what went on. Essentially, the Brooklyn Park Police Department was turned over into an operations center, and that's all that hundreds of detectives worked on tirelessly for 43 hours. So while this has come to some conclusion where we've made an arrest, there is a ton of work that needs to be done. So I encourage community members, if there's evidence, information, or other things, please continue to feed that information to the Brooklyn Park Police Department so that we can fully investigate this and present a complete case to both the federal jurisdiction and the Hennepin County Attorney's Office. With that, I'll turn it over to the State Patrol.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeremy Geiger. I'm the Lieutenant Colonel with the Minnesota State Patrol, the Assistant Chief. The Minnesota State Patrol, along with countless other partners, were responsible for this arrest. The collaborative effort, I cannot stress enough how outstanding that was, helped ensure the suspect's arrest did not result in the injury of any law enforcement that was down there and in the area. We had special response teams on the scene near 200 streets in Sibley County. Several partner law enforcement SWAT teams positioned to form a perimeter at that point in time. The State Patrol also provided the air support that was talked about earlier today. The suspect crawled to law enforcement teams and was placed under arrest at that point in time. There was no use of force by any member of law enforcement that was out there, and the suspect was taken into custody without any use of force. Thank you.
With that, we will open it up for a few questions. Reminder, please introduce yourself, your media organization. If you have a question for one of the specific individuals, please feel free to point that out as well.
Maggie Pesco with NBC News. Can I ask anyone up here who can speak to it, did the suspect make any key mistakes that you feel like led to his mental control?
You know, the question is were there any key mistakes? We certainly, at this point, there's a lot of information we can't share right now in this. What I will tell you is there's some incredibly dedicated law enforcement personnel, criminal intelligence analysts that were out working day in, day out, working together. And what I will tell you is that the public certainly is always of his assistance to us in law enforcement, and incredibly diligent people in the area that provided us the assistance that we needed to get our teams that were already down there that last piece over. But they were certainly in the area and working diligently together on that.
Do you have any indication that anyone helped him?
The question is any indication anybody helped him? We continue to look into that. I don't have anything beyond what we shared earlier today. This investigation, as Chief Bruley noted, will be continuing to expand at this point in time to make sure that we continue to look at all angles of this. And everybody did help him. We will certainly hold them accountable for doing that in this process.
Adrian Goddess from NBC News. Can you tell us how the Hoffmans helped save lives, and what did the suspect say when he was taken into custody?
The question was how the Hoffmans helped save lives, and what did he say? I don't have the specific. And then what did he say when he's taken into custody? I don't have the specifics on what he said when he was taken into custody. You know, we're incredibly grateful that the Hoffmans are still here with us at this point in time, and that they will be hopefully on a continued path to recovery, and that they will provide us the information. We've been able to talk to them today, and they will be providing key information to us as part of this investigation moving forward.
Sir, can I from CBS News, did the suspect have a phone with him when he was caught? Was he tracked in any way, or was he just sightings and tips?
At the end, the question is, did he have a phone with him? I don't have the specifics on everything that was with him when he was arrested at this time. I will say he was armed, and that he came when he was taken into custody, but we'll be sifting through all of that information from there. What's that? I can't on the weapons at this time, so Paul.
Just kind of elaborating on sort of the Hoffman question. To me, the encounter at Speaker Portman's house with, I believe, the Portland Park Police, there was gunfire there. The fact that he had to abandon that vehicle with several weapons who has to be unsealed. Criminal complaint. How significant was that in preventing any further tragedy and ending it with him on the ground in Sibley County?
Yeah, the question is, again, expanding on the Hoffmans and providing addition. What I'll tell you, Chief Bruley mentioned this yesterday, and his police officers going to check proactively on Speaker Hortman's home at that time. If that had not happened, I have every confidence that this would have continued throughout the day by his officers encountering him at that. It was forced to abandon the vehicle that he had at that time and lead to what we got to today. So by that incident occurring and the law enforcement communication that was occurring, it allowed the proactive approach that was able to get to the point where they were able to now eventually take him into custody today.
Thank you. I just want to clarify, there's a little bit of detail that the Ramsey County Sheriff has provided. I just wanted to see if we can.
What are you clarifying?
So, the detail that he had provided to the Star Tribune is that for about an hour, Bolter had tried to evade arrest, and that 8 teams crawled in a ditch to try to corral him. I don't know if we have that level of detail, but additionally, because we were able to take him into custody without incident, what did your law enforcement officers say to him to warn about and how to basically?
So the question is about the teams and then what was done to get him into custody. So we don't get into operational details for the safety of our law enforcement going forward in terms of what it is. But what I can say is the incredible teamwork that was done and the large number of law enforcement certainly put us in a position where they were able to maneuver into this area to safely put him in a place where, you know, I don't know what was going through his head and I wouldn't speculate, but they have incredibly professional teams that are trained on this and how to take somebody into custody, and they provided the commands and he gave up peacefully.
Superintendent Joan Kaplan from WCCO and CBS News. First, if you could just speak personally for you and all your colleagues. I imagine this is a relief for a lot of you. Can you talk about what it means to you personally to have this done only a few hours ago if you weren't sure if he was in the state, let alone in the country?
The question is the relief for all of us. I mean, the relief for us in law enforcement is we feel an incredible amount of pressure to bring a person into custody, bring safety to the community. These professionals behind me and their teams, this is what they do. This is what they get paid to do, and they're honored to do the work on behalf of Minnesotans every single day. So the relief is that we can bring that sense of relief to communities across Minnesota, legislators that were on that list, and that's what we want to do.
At what point did you get the call and from whom generally that he was in that area in the arena?
The question was on the call, and when did we get it? It was happening over the time. I don't have the specific timeline, but we were alerted as soon as there was a spotting of the person in the area for all of the command staff here, and as our teams continue to work and as they worked in and honed in.
Can you speak a little more about the technology that was used? You said today earlier that you received 400 tips
Yeah.
We know there was surveillance footage that was used for pictures. You just mentioned, someone talked about the air team. Was it a fixed wing? Was it a helicopter that was following him? What role did technology?
Yeah, the question is what role, and I can't get into all the technology, obviously. Just some of it is that we don't share the information to make sure that we protect it so it's utilized going forward. However, I will say that both UAVs throughout the day are incredibly important to our teams on unmanned aerial vehicles that we use, that there were numerous ones out there providing that. And then our helicopter in this situation provides an incredibly important bird's eye view that also allows us special views to be able to see individuals such as infrared and others that we utilize on a regular basis. So technology in cases like this are incredible tools to be able to supplement the great hard work of all the people that were on the ground every day. Let's go here first.
Where's he being held currently?
So right now he is being interviewed at a law enforcement facility. More information on where he will actually be ultimately will be released at a later time.
What law enforcement agency or facility?
I can't share where he is currently, but that information will be available soon.
Can you be more specific about the setting in which he was? I know there are things you can't give away, but we see things like trails and fields. You're talking about him crawling. Also, what can you tell us about where he was hiding during this time?
Yeah, so where was he hiding? This is in a rural area. These are fields and different wooded settings around, and that's where he was ultimately captured. Sibley County is, a rural county in the state of Minnesota, and so it's what a lot of that streams, fields, woods, crops, and so where he was ultimately taken into custody was in a field.
Did the infrared technology help find him, identify him from here?
I don't.
The commissioner had mentioned some of that earlier. I wonder if that's something that helped.
Yes, absolutely. It assisted previously, and they were out there. The helicopter was out there before the sun went down. But after that happened, yes, that technology did come into play.
How long did you know that he was there?
I'll turn that back over to the superintendent here too, but I don't think that that information is available right now.
Mark Burley, Police Chief, Brooklyn Park. The question is how long did we know that he was there? A vehicle that we believe that he was in was spotted many hours before and had been abandoned. An alert police officer believed that he may have seen the individual running into the woods, and that started a large-scale perimeter that we set up, or down in Sibley County set up, and we started to deploy resources, including the Brooklyn Park SWAT team, and along with many other SWAT teams, to contain an extremely large area, knowing that this is a very dangerous individual. During that, we got privy to additional information of an individual that was in the woods, and that search went on for many hours until ultimately we were able to locate him in the woods. In approximately an hour and a half or so, we were able to close the distance in with the technology and the State Patrol helicopter, and where we were able to call him out to us.
Hi, Police Shepherd, ABC News. Are you very worried about motive, and are you considering this an act of domestic terrorism?
Yeah, it's absolutely way too soon to say that right now. That's where the investigation, we have been just solely focused on the manhunt. And the goal is to give some calm to the situation of many individuals that were on the list that were worried about their safety. And this is a very dangerous individual for our community. And that's why so many resources and such a great collaboration came together to focus on removing him from society so that we can restore some sort of calm and bring some healing to our community and to our state. Now begins the hard work of looking at what the motive is, looking at putting this case together, and so that's yet to come.
And people that were on the list, what other, I know there are politicians from Wisconsin on this, what other states have people on the list?
It was multiple states. I don't have the exhaustive list, but it was multiple states that were on there.
Do you have some states that were on the list?
We can. There's a few. I don't want to say it because it won't be exhaustive, but Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, some others that were on there. There was a variety. Nebraska, Iowa. We've had contact. What I will tell you, and I will not get into any more specifics beyond that, we are in coordination with our federal partners and our fusion centers in those states to coordinate with local law enforcement and the FBI in those states and the state fusion centers that are there to be able to provide that information and notify those individuals that they were on that list.
Are you concerned that there's other people out there that could have been working with
The question is, are we concerned there's other people out there that could be working with him? We will fully explore that. I've said on this, we are relatively confident. We are confident that the violence that he committed and the murders he committed and the attempted murders, that he conducted that activity alone. We will be exploring if there are any broader network. We have not uncovered any of that at this time, but that will be part of our investigation, and we will fully explore that. So thank you.
Thanks. Thank you. We can go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right, there's the end of that
Listen, this is what I was talking about when I said earlier, but I was talking about bad leadership. We heard from what, 5, 6 different agencies, and nobody had anything to say, including Walls. Walls didn't have shit to say. Why you let all the people come out there and tell us nothing? You should have had them down there at the precinct, which is where y'all know he is, getting their interview on and getting some information. Like, why are we doing this? You know, people gonna be wanting to know, you know what I'm saying, why he didn't get away, why did he do it, and how exactly did y'all find him? Because at this point, it sounds like he just stumbled into the police. Make no sense. This don't make no sense. This is how you just stumbled into the just happened to run into the law while he was trying to run. Like, y'all could tell us who was actually out there, what kind of technology they was using, how long, you know what I'm saying? First, I do say it had been 48 hours. This happened yesterday, so 48 hours means it'd be sometime tomorrow. Be tomorrow afternoon sometime. Well, East Coast. It'd be about 12 hours from now, because we crossed over the midnight hour. Like, you can't even count how long the man been, you know what I'm saying, been roaming around. I can't. Y'all. And this dude was seriously trying to convince us to let him be vice president. Seriously, was trying to convince us to let him be vice president. No. We good. We good. We don't need that. We don't even need that. So hopefully tomorrow we'll get a real press conference with some answers. And if that is the case, y'all know I will be bringing that to y'all. We will see if the president is going to, you know what I'm saying, make some kind of statement. He probably will. We're going to have that. Listen, I got utility bills to pay myself. Trust me. We all got utility bills to pay. But yeah, the y'all got to do better. Oh, you got to do better. That's all I'm saying. But back to what we was talking about. Back to the regularly scheduled program. Just on a quick recap for those of y'all who were not here in the beginning, we were having a discussion in regards to the child. I just paid the water bill the other day, y'all. My water bill was like $51. $5.67 of that $51 was actually for water. The rest of it was storm fees, sewage fees, and tax. The water part was $5.67, but the full bill was $51. Foolishness. Straight up foolishness. But anyway, like I said, back to what we had going on in the very beginning. We were having a discussion in regards to this chick who is upset because her boyfriend broke off their engagement because she did not want to take his last name. What you were saying with me, they charged me $20 a month and my water turned off. Shy, how that work? How that work, Prime? Oh, you talking about in the house it's almost ready. Shameful. Shameful. But yeah, here, the more it rain, the more your water bill gonna be. I'll be up here like let it burn. Ain't nobody got no time. Mm-mm. The more it rain, the higher that bill is gonna be. Oh, Coach Greg on Twitch. Hi. But yeah, I'm not a fan. What? You keep it turned off at the meter. Are you supposed to be doing that, Brian? That's way too much work around these parts. Child, they got locks and screws. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, you're not living there yet. Yeah, child, and they're making you pay before you even get there. Child, I feel you, Brian. I feel you, child. Times out here is hard. Times is hard. Got to move strategically. Got to move strategically. But yeah, so for those of y'all who are just coming over, we talk about this broad right here. She's saying she wants to marry the man. She want to be with him, but she don't want to take. Huh? 2,200. What you gotta win? 2,200 to connect with the city. Oh, hell yeah, keep that turned all the way off at all times. It cost you 2,200 to tap in, dude. Yeah, I get it, Prime. That's real talk right there. Ooh, trying to hurt my feelings. I'll be quiet about my little $51. So yeah, Prime, can you imagine going through all of that with somebody who's saying they don't want you to go and then look you in your face? You done bought a whole, built a whole house. You'll spend $2,200, get the water connected, tap into the city, and they turn around to tell you they don't want to take your last name. Because this is literally the situation this man was about to be in. You suing her. Okay. I mean, I mean, but can you really? Since you're saying you didn't do your due diligence, can you really? Because again, she knew what his name was from the beginning. Women, let me tell you a little something about women. When we dealing with you and we starting to feel you and we think this might go somewhere, we gonna try your name on and see how it works. So for her to get all the way to we getting married, you knew what that man's name was. So what's really going on? Because for me, it's got to be some more to this. Because again, we're gonna try your name on. I'm just gonna be honest about that. That is what's gonna happen. So you know, listen. Yep, I'm telling you. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. That is exactly what's gonna happen. We are going to try your name on. So like, what she said, she wanted one of them hyphenated. Listen, oh, was she? Well, no, because according to this, she wanted him to change his last name to her last name, so that way she wasn't gonna have to change anything. So, does she want to be the man in the relationship? That's, I mean, what and what for me, what else did she do in the course of this relationship that he was willing to overlook? And why was he willing to overlook it? See, for me, it's more to this. This is not this cut and dry. This ain't this cut and dry. Um, but men, with it being Father's Day, we in our last, hours of Father's Day. And, we here over on I-78 are about, rebuilding the Black community. Men, y'all got to pay attention. For God, stop wanting to link up with these women for the rest of your life. Because again, we all know that 9 times out of 10, it's the woman who, is going to end the relationship. So, men, y'all got to be careful about who you want to link up with and honest about why you want to link up with them. But we're going to have a conversation about that. Because I told y'all back when I first started this channel, figure out your oxygen and your water. I ain't forgot. We coming back to that. What is your oxygen and what is your water? So if you haven't thought about it in 2025, please do, because we're gonna have a discussion about that. Because I know for myself personally, my water has changed, but my oxygen hasn't since I, put that out there. That was what? It's been at least a year and a half ago. Give or take. Yeah, my oxygen has not changed. My water has. But again, that's going to vary for each person. Like I said, make sure you know what those two are, because that is going to give you your foundation. So y'all got some homework to do. And with that, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. Enjoy, your last couple hours of, Father's Day. I hope you guys, were, in a position to receive, the love and appreciation from your families today. And hopefully we can get to a point where we're not just waiting for Father's Day to, let the men in our lives who are, functioning in a fatherly capacity to know how much we love and appreciate them. And guys, again, I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming out and showing me support. We have crossed, if you haven't noticed, got 36 minutes left. Okay. We have crossed over the 5,000 mark as far as subscribers. So again, I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. We've been through a lot over here. I'm sorry, Prime. I miss my mama every day, so I got an idea how you feel. It's rough. I ain't even gonna sit here and hold you. It's rough. But just know that he's proud of you. Yes, 10 on March the 10K on the way. Absolutely. But we're gonna have a proper 5,000 subscriber celebration sometime this week. I'm gonna get that worked out for us. But y'all, like I said, it's past midnight here on the East Coast. So I will be seeing y'all later on today. I will be back in my normal capacity as well as on the political side. I see what's going on, but I'm really sure, like I said, there's gonna be some more information coming out in regards to the capture of that cornball who decided he wanted to, play cop and execute people for no damn reason. Too damn old for all of that. That's why he couldn't get away. His ass is old, couldn't run. Who's that? Who cooking the food? Child. I don't know. We got a couple people we can call. Oh wait, I don't know, because one of them mad at me. So I don't know. We might be down to cook, but we'll get it catered. Don't even worry about it. We'll get it catered. But if you got some ideas, let me know. Um, I'll bring the cake though. I'll make my own cake. I'm good with that. I'm good. But all right, y'all. Enjoy, like I said, enjoy your last little bit of Father's Day. I appreciate y'all for stopping out, for stopping by. I will see y'all later on today. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Do your homework, and we'll talk about it later. Bye.
CDT.